Hello and welcome to Hobby Days. In this video I'm going to show you the easiest way I've found to attach the limbs to my Amigurumi project. I'll be using my giraffe as an example. If you'd like to have a go at making it, you'll find the links to all of my patterns in the description below. So, when following a pattern we're told to leave a long tail to attach to the body later. I have a slightly different way of using these, but for now I'm just going to prepare them ready for later. So using a darning needle, I'm going to skip this first stitch and sew from the back to the front of the following stitch. Pull that nice and tight and do the same for the other limbs. And that's all we need to do for now. If you're anything like me, you've tried so many different ways of trying to keep the parts in place before attaching. Knitting needles, skewers, big pins, small pins. So I'm not going to bother with any of that. I'm just going to hold the arm in the position I think it should be and place a pin in the body at the front of the arm. Then I place the other arm, holding it in position, and do the same. Place a pin in the body at the front of this arm. Just check that you're happy with the position. That looks good. And now I'm going to place a pin at the back of the arm. Now I like to place my arms on a slight angle, maybe not quite that much, probably about 2 rows lower at the back. That way the arms face slightly forward instead of sticking straight out to the side. And now place the second pin, just about there. And now all I have to do to match the other side is to count down 2 rows and across 5 stitches. So there's 1, 2 rows down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches across. Now I'm going to check again that they look okay. I'm just going to hold them between the pins one more time just to make sure. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now what I need to do is check that the colour change is at the back of the arm. Mine looks pretty good because I use my invisible colour change. If you're not familiar with this method, I do have a video that you can check out. So I've cut myself a long piece of yarn around about 20 inches, which is probably more than I need. For this arm I'm going to work from the front to the back pin, just here, and I'm going to begin by sewing through the body on the opposite side of the arm that I'm attaching. Now I'll find the stitch where the pin is. I'll just take this out so you can see better. And pull through, leaving a tail long enough to tie off at the end. And this is where the top of the arm is going to be. So just hold it in position there, and I'm going to work from the front to the back of this arm, sewing through both of those stitches to close it up at the same time. And now lifting up the arm, I'm going to work into the row directly below that first stitch, just here. So this is where our pin was, and then so up and across on a diagonal. So I start directly below the pin and up and across, drop the arm back down, and again working through both these stitches. Lift up the arm, stitch directly underneath, up and across, and repeat. I can pull this a little tighter now I've worked a few stitches. I've only got one more to go now. And one last stitch through the body just there. And I like to finish by going back through the arm from here all the way through and out through the other side, just there. Pull nice and tight. And now I'll sew through the body all the way through and back out through the same stitch I started. Like so. Now before I do anything else, I'm just going to check that I'm happy with the sewing, that I haven't missed any stitches. That looks good. And check that it looks okay with the placement of the other arm. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I need to tie off these ends, and before I do that I'm going to give it a little bit of a tug to make sure those stitches are nice and tight. Not too firmly though, I don't want to distort the shape of the body. And then I'll tie them in a double knot. There's one. And two. And then I'll weave in the ends, making sure I go back through that same hole. I'm going to sew one towards the front, and sew the other end in the opposite direction. And there we go. And now trim these ends nice and close to the body. And now give him a bit of a squeeze, move that stuffing around. So with this tail I was supposed to use to attach the arm. I'm just going to sew straight down through the body. Just through that stitch there. Out through the back of the body. And I shall just leave it there now until I've attached the second arm, and I'll show you what to do next. So for the second arm, I'm going to show you how to sew from the back to the front pin. And starting just here, I'm going to sew through to the stitch directly below the pin. Just there. Just make sure the colour changes at the back. And this time I'm going to start from underneath the arm. So lift the arm up, make sure I'm going through both stitches to close off the arm. And now working through the stitch with the pin in, working on a diagonal to the row underneath. It's the same principle, we're just working the opposite way round. Whichever way is more comfortable for you is fine. Let's speed this up a little bit. Oh, if only it was this quick in real time. And then tie in a double knot, weave in the ends and trim nice and close to the body. And with this tail, I'm going to sew directly underneath as before. And through the same stitch as the tail from the other arm. Tie these in a double knot, weave in the ends, and trim nice and close to the body. And there you have it, those arms are nice and secure. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please like and subscribe to see more, and feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you next time.